Okay. I have a story for you. This is from your class. I was a junior in high school, and this is the one time I was never a big fan of school. I could never handle the just, all right, sit down. I felt like there was a lot of, and I'm not saying this about your class specifically, I'm just broad school.
Mm.
I felt like there was a lot of fat to be trimmed in the sense of like, here, do this, and I'm like, why do I need to do this? You know, there's definitely things that you need to learn that are at school, but there's a lot that I don't remember and I'm never going to use. You know what I mean? And that used to drive me nuts. Yeah. However, the only, obviously, you know, I've never written a book or anything like that to that level, but just reports and different things like that, essays. The only thing I've ever written for school, or really ever, other than just for this podcast, that I was excited to, I wasn't excited to start, and then I was excited while I was doing it, was something from your class. I don't remember the subject, but I think it was like 2 pages that we had to do, so there was a length requirement. And I remember, I think it was just write a story, because I remember the beginning of it was like this guy that woke up and then he was walking down the street and he spilled cereal, and it was a bunch of random but I remember I got so into writing. It was so specific and detailed. And I was so proud of that. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was like already a page and a half in, so I just had to like finish half a page. So the story didn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
And I was the same thing. I was so excited. I was like, hey, you want to read this? And everybody's like, oh, the beginning's great. And then it just kind of is retarded at the end. You know what I mean? And you even said, I think I got like a C+ or B-. You're like, you wrote on the top, like, great beginning. But I still have that, you know, here we are like 10 years later for me. And I still have that moment of like, that was where I really was just imagining, and I wrote it very articulate. Like when you read it, you could really see what was going on. And even though that was a page and a half, that excites me to write something else. Like, I feel like I might still have that in me somewhere. You know, obviously I've done stand-up a couple times, so like that's an outlet of articulating things. This is an outlet of articulating things. Like, that's what excites me about writing. I have no idea it's kind of like a tattoo. Like, I have no idea what I would want to get, but I see a guy with a cool tattoo and I'm like, that's cool.
Right,
you know what I mean? And I don't know, and I just wanted to tell you that, like, the only thing I've ever been excited when I was writing something was in your class, you know?
Well, that's cool. And I think that, you know, it speaks to that I was always trying to get you guys to write, just to express and to kind of see, you know, in different ways, different kinds of writing, just to kind of get that momentum and see what you can do. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, that's a good sign. Like you said, for you, maybe you just want to sit down and give yourself time to just write anything and everything and see what you do and see what you're excited about and what you want to continue doing. And if you like the long form, writing a story of something that you've created, like a fiction, if you can see this guy walking down the street eating a bowl of cereal and he drops it, you know, where does that go?
Yeah.
There's something there. So, but you gave up on yourself in that assignment, even though you were excited. You just finished it to finish it.
Right.
But what if you didn't give up on yourself? What if you just kept going for the sake of going because you were interested to see what was in there and what came out?
100%. The whole identity and the younger, immature self of me, which doesn't make sense at all what I just said, but yeah, I totally gave up. And it was like, that was cool, but I have this assignment. I'm not going to work extra.
Right.
Like, here it is. It's done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If you enjoyed this content, be sure to check out the Standing Still podcast, both here on YouTube and wherever else you listen to podcasts.